It is always really fun and exciting to see a new class of studs enter into their first season of college wrestling. However, as we all know, most first-year college wrestlers either red shirt, gray shirt, start as a true freshman, or who knows, there's like a million different outcomes for true freshmen, especially with these new rule sets. But this video is not here to really talk about that, it is to see who was the best, which coaches did the absolute most incredible job recruiting. So as we all saw from the title of this video, we'll be doing a team recruiting ranking for the class of 2022. I have been dying to do this video for a long time, and I've basically been waiting for, well, Fargo to wrap up and to see if any major shakeup or stock rises happened. I'm sure some people already have a guess to who number 1 or even 2 might be, and some of that might be obvious, but what other teams did pretty well in their recruiting classes? Well, let's find out, but first, if you end up liking this video, feel free to leave a like and leave a comment on your favorite wrestlers from the class of 2022. Also, don't be shy to subscribe to good old TrueTan Wrestling. Also, side note, just a little life update and channel update, I guess. I did start a job at Rudis, so that's why the upload schedule has been changed a little bit differently. I plan to make a video at least once a week, and maybe on lucky weeks we'll have 2 out. But for now, I'm really trying to grind out there at Rudis, and if you are a coach, feel free to reach out to our sales department and tell them you want to talk to Tanner. But anyway, now let's break down the criteria and bases for the class of 2022 team rankings. As usual, I like to use a ton of data in these rankings, so it was pretty simple to take the Flow top 100 in the class of 2022, and whoever got the lowest number, sort of like scoring golf, would be the highest ranked team. However, there was another metric I used, and that was quantity. A team that has 5 top 50 recruits might have a worse overall average than a team with 2 top 10 recruits. In some cases, a team with less recruits will be better, but in other standings, maybe not so much. However, with that said, I'm going to try and mention a ton of teams here to have a fun and honorable mention wrestling list. So there's really no better place to get going than to start with our honorable mention teams then. That might have a huge top 100 recruiting class, but the numbers might just not back it up. For example, let's start with the Oregon State team, who had 4 top 100 recruits, which is, wow, incredible. However, they are ranked 49, 81, 82, and 97, which is not a dig or disrespect to any kids entering college wrestling. I want to be completely transparent with that. If you're a top 100 recruit, that's a huge honor, and you are an incredible wrestler. So please don't interpret that the wrong way. I mean, Ryan Deacon wasn't even a top 80 guy, and look what he ended up doing. However, back to Oregon State, who just had an amazing year, so getting 4 top 100 guys that I know Oregon State can develop is huge. The 4 top tier guys that are coming in are Gage Whitenhunt, Nash Singleton, who did great at Fargo, CJ Gamblin, and Chase DeBlary. The next honorable mention team based on their size is another Western school in Wyoming, getting number 40 Jory Volk, who made the junior world team, beating some elite guys on his path to do it. Number 79 Orrs, 87 David Harper, and then number 88 Garrison Dendy. Harper and Dendy are both from Tennessee too, which is always fun to see, an interesting state growing the sport. And then we have another conference represented in this tier with the North Carolina Tar Heels, getting the guys at 51, 72, 83, and 86, which for a team that is really competing in the ACC, that is an intense haul. And then to put some names to those numbers, there is Noah Pettigrew, Nick Fay, Jaden Scott, and Cole Hunt, who are all elite wrestlers who have elite wins within their state and at major tournaments throughout the country. There's also the Quakers of the EIWA of Penn, having 4 top 100 guys coming in, and they are really building something awesome over there. They have some steals, I think, like a top 40 guy in Martin Cosgrove in New Jersey, and also fellow Jerseyan at number 67 in Andrew Chedursky, and a big steal from PA that just medaled high at Fargo in Jude Swisher, along with Evan Mulganey being the 100th ranked guy in the top 100 list. Then there is also Little Rock that I wanted to mention here, who only had 3 top 100 guys, but it shows that they are building, and they are building fast. One of their recruits actually just won Fargo in Missouri's Kyle Dutton, which is a really nice steal for them, along with getting Brandon Abden and Brandon Van Hoke. Then we have 2 teams with 5 top 100 recruits who might not have too many really high ranked guys, but wow, 5 in the top 100, that is just amazing. Those teams are Navy and Virginia respectfully. Virginia has 46, 47, 56, 84, and 92. And Navy is a little bit better with 22, 66, 71, 78, and 90. So yeah, having a top 30 is more than ideal, especially for a program like Navy, with their top 100 guy being Danny Wass from Blair. Then we move along to just a few honorable mention teams. These are teams that might not have huge top 100 recruiting classes, but they at least have 3 very top tier guys, but wouldn't really crack into my top 5 per se. This is where quantity starts to lose a little bit and quality takes over. Also, I will go more in detail with the top 5, so with that said, let's just start with our honorable mention list, starting with Northern Iowa. They're bringing in 27, 52, and 95. In some cases, I would see Virginia or Navy jumping them, but I think a class with Corey Land being a Greco World medalist and a recent Fargo champ and Greco Fargo runner-up, along with Wyatt Volker and Chet Buss being pretty great Iowa guys and steals for them, would give Northern Iowa a pretty good argument, but like I said, it kind of depends on the day. I could see Navy and Virginia maybe passing them in other lists, but regardless, all 3 of them are just honorable mentions. Then we have 3 Big Ten teams in a row with honorable mentions like Rutgers, Nebraska, and Wisconsin. Starting us off with Rutgers, who had a very good number 8 grab by Brian Saldano, who is a really dangerous wrestler, along with number 53 PJ Castle and tough PA recruit at number 98 Brandon Klitzos. Nebraska cranks it up with 2 top 50s in Antrell Taylor, a local boy in Nebraska, and Oklahoma recruit Harley Andrews. And then finally there was Wisconsin, who is solid this year on top of a great recruiting class. They obviously have James Rowley, who everyone knows is really good at number 21. Then they have number 61, Nicola Rivera, who is a serious sleeper in my opinion. And then on top of all of that, they have number 70, Brock Bobson. I don't know how to decide which one of these teams is better, and that is why every team mentioned here is just an honorable mention. The ranking really only starts at top 5, which we are almost at, I promise. But we still have 2 more teams that were really close to making it into the TrueTan top 5. But let me break down these classes, starting with a very good Arizona State 2022 class. They have a total of 3 top 100 recruits who are all coming in within the top 50. I'll be honest, these next 2 teams, it was really tough to leave them out of the top 5, even though this was heavily number based. Arizona State is getting Older Larkin and Caleb Larkin at number 50, coming in at a projected 149. Michael Killick, a stud from Georgia, probably a 157 guy, and then Emilio Yesagiran Jr. at 28, who was the top seed at Fargo but unfortunately got hurt. All of those names can make some serious noise with development in a college room. Then we have a team that continues their growth in the ACC, with Virginia Tech bringing in 3 huge studs. Starting off their class is number 69 ranked Tom Crook of Florida, and then they really pick it up with TJ Stewart at 31, who is a Fargo champ, and the weight he won it was a really good one in 2021, so great get for them, along with top 10 Caleb Henson, another Georgia stud that is going to be really talented and be really impressive to me, and I thought he looked really great at the Ruta Supercard match. Now that is credit to all the amazing recruiting classes for wrestling fans to watch out for that are not in the top 5. But now I kept you all waiting long enough, let's count down the top 5 2022 recruiting class teams. Starting us off, this team went back and forth in my mind from an honorable mention back in the top 5, and then back, and then right back into the top 5. But at the end of the day, here's Missouri taking home the number 5 spot. First off, their class is massive with over 10 freshmen coming in. They're all pretty dang good. However, they have 3 top 100 guys, but they are all within the top 50, which is the main reason they made this top 5 spot. Starting them off is projected heavyweight in Ryan Boersma, who is a stud heavyweight from Illinois, and knowing Missouri's ability to develop great heavyweights, I think he will be in amazing hands. They have number 25 Zeke Seltzer, who had a tough Fargo bracket and did not place, but I think he is a guy that could definitely do very well 133, and if he develops, he could be their starter this upcoming year. Then ending their amazing class, there is Clayton White of Wisconsin, who beat a college starter, and not just any college, the University of Iowa starter Abe Assad last year at the Luther Open, along with so many other great accolades to add on to his list. They're pretty top heavy in these projected weights at 184 and 197, but man, this dude is elite. I could see him making some serious noise early. Now, number 4 on this list made a huge jump in my mind, and I am very happy I waited till Fargo ended, because as we all saw, Cody Chittum would reclassify and also change his commitment to the University of Iowa, which, as you could all guess, gave them a massive bump into this top 5. Also, side note, I could see Iowa right back in this spot in 2023 with their already huge commitment list of studs, but catch this video in the following summer to hear more about that. To just focus on 2022, not only do they have 3 top 50 guys, they also have some huge sleepers that aren't even ranked in the top 100 on Flow. They have Joel Jessaroga, who placed 4th at Fargo at 145, along with Colby Franklin ranked 48th in the top 100, who was a runner-up at 220 at Fargo this year, but he lost to his soon-to-be fellow teammate Brady Hill, who is also not ranked in the top 100, but he just won a Fargo title. However, he might be playing football, so we will see how his development goes. Now, those names are all great, but they have another Fargo champ in Aiden Riggins, ranked number 29 of his class, maybe a 157 or 165. Then, of course, there was former number 1 of the class of 2023 and the guy Cody Chittum of Tennessee, who blew through his Fargo weight and is a gem for Iowa to get. Now, these last 3, I kind of went back and forth and really had to think about my quantity and quality rules. And at the end of the day, number 3 is Iowa State, who is a very heavy quality class, putting them here at this spot. But number 2 and 1 had just had a little bit more quantity, along with their quality to back it up. But let's honor Iowa State while we're here. Iowa State has 3 in the top 20, along with the Frost brothers, who are not ranked in the top 100, but definitely add on to this strong group. To talk about their ranked guys, they had number 17, MJ Gaden of California, along with the Michigan duo of Casey Swiderski, who's the number 2 ranked guy. Then there is very solid Manny Rojas at number 20. This is a really solid class, and I plan to give a full lineup breakdown on them because I find them to be really interesting coming in the next year. But for now, I think the number 2 team just edged them out ever so slightly with having a little bit more quantity and quality, and that team is NC State, sliding right in the number 2 spot. And NC State had 5 in the top 100, with their highest ranked guy being a 55 and their lowest being number 5, along with numbers 10, 16, and 35. Using averages, Iowa State is probably a little better, but at the end of the day, having 5 top 100s and 4 within the top 50 is just gonna ever so slightly edge Iowa State out, so sorry to all those Cyclone fans. To look a little deeper in NC State, their number 55 recruit is Finn Solomon from the historic Franklin Regional in Pennsylvania, and he had a solid PA career on top of the great NHSCAs this offseason. Number 35 is heavyweight fan favorite in Georgia's Chase Horn, who has medaled or won almost every big tournament out there in high school. They're also getting another huge PA recruit in multiple-time state champ Jackson Arrington at number 16, who has also won some of the best high school tournaments in the land. Then they have their 2 top 10 guys in top-tier Georgia guy and Matthew Singleton, who is a stud, and then of course there's their number 5 guy in Dylan Fishback, Mr. Ohio, winning Fargo and Ironman, along with several Ohio State titles. Clearly they have a huge mix of guys that fit in the NC State mold, and it will be interesting to see where they all fit in their lineup, and I'm really excited to see how they look after they develop after a possible redshirt season. Now, with all that said with NC State, I do think a lot of their guys are going to redshirts, like I sort of alluded to, but I think the storyline could be completely different for our number 1 team with the best 2022 recruiting class, and that is the Ohio State University. They have the depth factor with having 5 top 100 recruits, along with all of them being within the top 40. And the great stats do not end there. For starters, there is Seth Shoemate, an Ohio State champion and Fargo finalist, coming in at 34. And he's going to be a solid 197 or heavyweight prospect. They're getting another homegrown guy and from the historic St. Edward's program in number 24, Luke Gogg. Then they have Death Row with number 4, 3, and 1 pound for pound guys with Jesse Mendez, Nick Bouzakis, and of course Nick Feldman, who I do not think any of those guys need any more praise or any more introductions, but we all know they are studs through and through, with 2 of them making junior world teams. Through and through, I think we all know it, Ohio State completely deserves this number 1 spot. All the other teams had some arguments to be where they're at, or be a little higher, or be a little lower, but at the end of the day, Ohio State, you just can't beat them. They are full of studs coming in. Well, everyone, that is all the major hitters in the 2022 recruiting class. Obviously, I had to make some opinion moves here, but I really tried to keep it based on the data. If you disagree or have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I only use 1 set of top 100 rankings. I know some other rankings go way above and beyond 100, but at the end of the day, I just used that. Plus, there were clearly some big teams I left out, like Stanford, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State, who only had 2 in the top 100, so that's why I left them out if you want a reason to that. But at the end of the day, I'm not discrediting anyone who's going to any school, and anyone who's committing to a Division I program or, like I said, in the top 100, you more than deserve all the praise. I just can't mention all of you in this video. With all that said though, if you did like this video, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. And with all that, leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.